WWE doesn't want fans to know this secret about AJ Lee, and here's what it is. Did you just see that? Because the jaws of a lot of fans out there hit the floor while watching Friday Night SmackDown. Mine is still down there. The rumors are over, the speculation has ended because one of the most influential women to ever step foot inside of a WWE ring has officially returned. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Forget the rumors, forget the what ifs, because we are breaking down the absolute monumental return of AJ Lee, who crashed the party on the September 5th episode of Friday Night SmackDown, in a moment that will be replayed for years to come. For fans have been clamoring for her return, and those prayers have finally been answered. But to truly understand how massive of a moment it is, we need to rewind a little bit and talk about why she left in the first place, because trust me, it's a story with more twists than a Lucha Libre match. Reasons for her departure. Now, if you've been following wrestling for a while, you'll know that AJ Lee retired from pro wrestling back in 2015. The official reason given was due to neck injuries, which is a very real and serious concern in the pro wrestling industry. However, simmering just beneath the surface was a few other factors at play that contributed to her decision to hang up her Chuck Taylors. It wasn't just a physical decision, it was a personal and professional one at that. One of the biggest reasons AJ Lee, left is because she cited that her departure was a glaring disparity of opportunities, pay, and screen time for women in WWE compared to their male counterparts. Can you believe it? Here's a woman who was a groundbreaking Divas champion, a fan favorite who was moving merchandise and drawing ratings, and she was publicly calling out the company for giving the women's division a fraction of the screen time and wages. It was like baking a delicious cake for a party, only being allowed to eat the crumbs yourself. She was one of the key figures who planted the seeds for the women's revolution, and she was fighting that battle long before it became a hashtag. But wait, there's more to this story. It involves certain other controversial departure. Yep, you guessed it, her husband CM Punk. Look, Punk's own departure from WWE in January of 2014, all of the drama that followed, including the allegations of medical negligence and general disillusion within the wrestling world, definitely influenced AJ Lee's feelings about the company. Imagine your significant other going through such a difficult and public breakup with their employer and then have to show up to that same job every day. That's got to be tough. It would be like going to your ex's wedding and pretending to be happy for them. The whole situation was incredibly complicated. And to really twist the knife, WWE actually mailed Punk his termination papers on his wedding day in June of 2014. Can you imagine that? That's got to be the worst wedding gift of all time. That act added to the significant amount of insult to injury and understandably fueled AJ Lee's frustration with the company even further. So when she finally decided to step foot back inside of the squared circle, well, it was a huge moment for fans. Her decision to walk away from WWE in 2015, it wasn't just about her neck. It was about principle, about fighting for what you believed in and perhaps finding peace from all that corporate drama. Now, here's the secret that WWE doesn't want you to know about why she returned to WWE. I think based off of the fact that Sean Ross Sapp and WrestleVotes have reported some interesting nuggets, okay? So, if you look at this situation, there were signs out there that included and really told you that AJ Lee was going to be returning, okay? Because we have to get credit where credit is due. Outlets like Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp, and WrestleVotes Radio were all over this story for years, reporting that a return was imminent. Now, WrestleVotes had previously reported, and I quote, "This isn't the first time that WWE has tried to bring her in since CM Punk's return in November of 2023, but this is the first time the company has pushed for it in such a big way as they feel like they can get her return to create general and significant buzz heading into the ESPN debut." They wanted to hear the word yes, and they got it. So WWE had tried to bring back AJ Lee literally years ago, but they just couldn't get her to say yes. Keep in mind, there was a ton of speculation that, hey, Punk goes to AEW, Punk's in AEW, would AJ Lee follow? Now, that did not happen, but certainly that could have been where things shake out. right? But that didn't happen, right? Punk did his thing in AEW and then eventually went back to WWE. So WWE did try to bring AJ Lee back in the past. They were just unsuccessful, right? Now, let's talk about her return. Fast forward, CM Punk, he's in the ring with Becky Lynch. Now, there was teases going into this that, hey, AJ Lee could show up, and that's certainly what she did. September 5th episode of SmackDown, it happened. During a heated in-ring segment where Becky Lynch was doing what she does best, verbally and physically assaulting CM Punk, the arena was suddenly filled with an iconic, unmistakable music. The crowd went absolutely ballistic as AJ Lee skipped her way down the ramp looking like she hadn't missed a single beat in her 10 years away. She hit the ring, she shut down the man, and starting doing some signature moves like her Thez press and followed up with a slap that echoed throughout the arena, sending Becky Lynch retreating up the ramp in utter shock. Now, the show, well, it closed with an emotional embrace between Lee and Punk in the middle of the ring. It was absolutely perfect. It was goosebump-inducing type moment. This was the very first time that AJ Lee had been back inside of a WWE ring in over 10 years. Since her retirement after WrestleMania 31 in 2015, she built an incredible career as a writer and mental health advocate. It's truly inspiring to see someone step away on their own terms, achieve success in different fields, and then return to the place where they made their name looking better than ever. So, now that she's back, the question that's on everyone's mind is, what's next? Well, after she saved her husband from the wrath of Becky Lynch, the battle lines are clearly drawn. It is now all but confirmed that we are headed towards a massive mixed tag team match pitting Lee and Punk against World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and Women's World Champion Becky Lynch at the upcoming WrestlePalooza Premium Live event on September 20th. Can you imagine the fireworks that we're going to get from that match? This is a main event type match anywhere in the world. Will they get the main event slot here? That's a question. That's a question. Because you do have John Cena versus Brock on that show. That could be a main event. I really do think, and it depends, Dave Meltzer, he reported this week, well, the Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre is currently up in the air. For that show, you could pit Drew versus Randy Orton on that show instead, but I don't know. I have a sneaky feeling we're going to get this mixed tag team match as the main event. I would agree with that decision. I think that's the right path to go. You have the returning AJ Lee, her first match in 10 years. You have CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, all top stars of Monday Night Raw, and really three of your biggest stars in the entire company. I would pit that as the main event, but I'm very, very curious to see where WWE goes with the match booking and who goes over. I would assume AJ Lee and Punk goes over, but it's WWE and we never know.